Hi everybody, this is Steve Ludwig, host of Steve Ludwig's Classic Pop Culture and the Beatles Hour with Steve Ludwig at planetludwig.com. Here's an interview we did with COATI Mundi on May 13th, 2014. It's from show number 40. To hear the entire show, check out the menu at planetludwig.com. And now, please enjoy the interview. And we have just heard No More Blues, and it's all about the money. From COATI Mundi is Dancing for the Cabana Code in the Land of Boohoo from 2010 to CD. Our next guest has worked with so many people, including, but certainly not limited to, The Roots, Chrissie Hynde, Tito Puente, Grace Jones, Paul Anka, Wanda Sykes, the Olsen Twins, Phoebe Snow, Debbie Gibson. He's acted in movies with Spike Lee, with Madonna. He's had a recurring role in Miami Vice, his latest film, On the Road, based on Jack Kerouac's novel, and of course, a member of Kid Creole and the Coconuts and Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band. The one and only, the former 12-year-old genius, Mr. COATI Mundi. COATI, thanks so much for being on the show.
Oh, it's indeed a plum-pleasing pleasure to be here. Actually, it's a plum-pleasing pleasure to be anywhere nowadays.
Right? I hear you on that one for sure. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Mundi about a month or so ago on Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV. And COATI, you have such a rich background of not only music and acting, but your writing now. If I can go back and then we'll come right up to date. There's a quote that I'd like to read to our listeners, and I think it says a lot about life on the road. While you were with Kid Creole, you said, "I'd rather be home wishing I was on tour rather than on tour wishing I was home." I guess fame is a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yes. I think it goes back to the old adage, "It's always greener on the other side of the tracks," or something like that, or something.
Sure.
Right, I don't know. But I needed to have a little bit more spiritual development, or else I wouldn't have had said that saying. Basically, Steve, on the road is rough, man, and there were times where I just wanted to be home, but when I was home, I said, being on the road is better than being here. So I was choosing I guess the worst of two evils, but then it was actually a great time. And I was just whining.
Yeah. Well, Kid Creole was, you were big here in the States, but you guys were so huge in Europe. Why is that, COATI? I hear that not only with you guys, but with so many acts based, starting in America, and they are musical gods overseas. Why do you think that is?
Yes, a lot of groups and individual artists do find more success overseas, and then sometimes they return to the States successfully, like Jimi Hendrix, who went overseas, became an icon there, or started to, and then came back triumphant. We always thought that we would go overseas and we would return large. So it never happened, and I don't really know the real reason. Yep. I can only surmise that that is more open-minded at that time period overseas than it was here in America. And also, the system over there in the different countries, they do support the art, and you have radio stations funded by the government, so that we never had this pressure to play all this top 40 stuff. A DJ could actually be very autonomous and play whatever they want. And you could go to another country and play the same shows and hear back-to-back songs from different countries. So you hear a song from Italy, and then another song from Japan, and then one from America. Whereas over here, basically, one person can program like hundreds of stations around the country.
Excellent point.
Was very limited. unless you were going to be played at listener sponsor stations like WBAI.
Good old
But other than
WBAI,
that,
right?
yeah. Other than that, we just could not break through, and we had appeared on TV like on Saturday Night Live. Brian Gumble did an interview on us for the Today Show. But it just wasn't enough, so we had to spend most of our time overseas in order to maintain some kind of a career and to afford the type of act we were putting forth, because it wasn't a cheap act. It was
Oh boy, I'll say
11-piece, large piece band. Once at the height of our popularity overseas, we had 15 people on stage.
We're speaking with the great COATI Mundi. And guys, you have to go to COATIMundiWorld.com. Of course, it's COATIMUNDI World.com. And also go to COATI's Facebook page, COATI Mundi. Going to your Facebook page and also on your website, COATI, I see that you're working on something called Don't Dream and Drive. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It's actually a book, just a fun little book that I was doing while I was involved being a caretaker. Many of us, as we get older, our parents become ill. And in my case, as I was in the middle of trying to maintain a career, a few members of my family became ill, and blood takes precedence over career.
Of course.
And I dropped everything. Actually, very few people notice it, and this is the first time I'm actually sharing it on the air, that it's kind of weird. Facebook, I was really never into Facebook or any of these social media type of vehicles. But I'm not going to talk too long about this because it can get very sad and everything. But the point is this. While I was caretaking for all these years, taking care of my parents and some siblings, I'm basically an entertainer. That's part of what I am, a very significant part of who I am. But during caretaking, I could not do any of these things. So Facebook became an outlet for me to continue to entertain. So I would write, and all my posts were just not basic Twitter type posts, but I would write little comical bits and entertaining things and comments about social life. And constantly people privately were sending me messages, man, these are all great, and even beckoning me to write a book and everything. So after a few years of collecting all these things, I decided to take some of my top posts and put them together in a book and put the behind the story as to why I put these things on and how they were relating to my personal life at the time when I was posting and saying a lot of these funny tidbits with some dramatic, serious undertones to them, or with just some based on true funny events that were happening in my life at the time or in the past. And I put it together in a book, and I call it Don't Dream and Drive, based on one of my posts. And it's just a way of showing my wit.
Great title. To it. A great title. I guess.
Well, and basically, Steve, just to finish that off, is a lot of times we're not in the moment. And we're doing some important things where our mind is not on what we're doing, and it can create havoc, and sometimes serious havoc, and sometimes mistakes and accidents. And so basically, driving is the realistic thing that we're doing in life, and it's good to be focused and be in the moment and not be caught up in dreams. I would say that dreams are dangerous, and they're also a pain in my butt. Sometimes I'm having a great dream, and then I wake up and I can't fulfill it, or I'm having a nightmare and it wakes me up. It's hard to get a good night's sleep with dreams.
It is. You're right. And isn't it something how we often mask our sadness with comedy or with But anyway.
Exactly. So anyway, I wrote the book, and I'm in the process of trying to find a literary agent and put it out, and probably I'll have to do a few more drafts on it once other people get involved. And we'll see. But basically, it kept me alive. It allowed me to entertain, which is what I do. So even if nothing becomes of it, I may self-publish it, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, while I was doing it, it allowed me to express myself creatively in a situation where it was very dramatic, depressing, sometimes very happy, but it limited the amount of time I was able to put into my craft in terms of as an entertainer. So
And
writing really was a lifesaver.
And again, everyone, go to COATIMUNDIWorld.com and COATI Mundi's Facebook page, and you'll be kept up to date on all of these goings on. Do you keep in touch with, from Kid Creole, August Darnell?
Occasionally, we're emailing each other. We don't. He lives over in Europe, so we don't get to see each other often. For a long time, we weren't in touch, and then we got back in touch a few years ago. So, like I said,
you guys are cool with each other.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
At one point, it wasn't, but as you get older, you move towards the light, and you like.
And of course, with Dr. Bizarre's original Savannah band, how about Corey Day? She's a special person, isn't she? You still keep in touch with her?
We stay in touch all the time. She's one of my dear friends. And look, we all started Savannah band August, myself, Corey, Stoney, and Nikki. So we have a certain bond. And like most people, sometimes you have certain things that go down, but as you grow older, you realize the people that have been important in your life, and so you stay in touch. But I've always gotten along with Corey. We've done a lot of projects, well, not a lot, but quite a few projects together, separate from Savannah Band. And actually, even with August, we did a benefit about 2 years ago for a music school for a mutual friend of ours, and I got to interview August. Sort of what you're doing here, I got to do with August, but for a little internet webcast.
Yeah, I think we can probably catch that video on your Facebook page. I think it's posted on there.
Right. It's on the Facebook page. Yeah. So August and I go way back, like Corey. So sometimes when we get together, it's as if no years have passed between us.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
We're like kids, like at the beginning of Savannah Band, having a great time. And, and I owe August and Corey Day. I learned so much from them and Stoney about music, about creating, composing.
It goes the other way too, though, Cody. I mean, that was reciprocal. I mean, you gave so much of yourself to them. And I think one hand washes the other in that case. You know, you're being humble, but you were the musical director for Kid Creole and the Savannah Band. And, you know, I wanted our listeners to know, and they do know, of course, but aside from your musical genius and all that you've given us, you've been in Mo Better Blues, He Got Game, Girl 6. I mean, you had a recurring role in Miami Vice and in Madonna's Who's That Girl? And we're going to get to a couple of the other acting things you've been doing. Do you prefer acting over music, or is it apples and oranges? Can you even decide or make a choice?
Yeah, I tell you, Steve, it's hard to make a choice. I love it. I love them both. I love everything in the entertainment world, so to speak. And sometimes you just go with the flow. Whatever sticks on the wall, that's what you go with. Because it's a survival game, and many of these things I've done basically is to survive. I've never started off wanting to do any of this stuff. And as I got into it, I realized that I have to have more in my war chest, in my toolkit, in order to survive in the business. I think the basic thing that I enjoy is entertaining. It's making somebody smile or laugh or cry, just having an effect on a person. However way I do it, whether it's tap dancing, making jokes, doing stand-up, acting, or music. That's what has always driven me. Personally, when I'm by myself, there are certain things that I enjoy doing. I'll do some stand-up even though I'm by myself, or I like to write it. There's a lot of things that jazz me up. But basically, I love entertaining, and if I do it in different ways, it's fine. And sometimes when the stomach is growling, I find new ways and new forms of entertaining. It's nothing else is happening.
Cody, you have so many facets to your life. I know there was some talk about a one-man show. How's that coming? Is that still in development, or you still have that? Is that on the back burner?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Steve. This is the thing, just to be straight up. it's a matter of staying inspired. When you're creating something on your own, it's not like you're getting a paycheck every week, or there's not somebody just coming up to you and say, hey, you're doing good, you're doing great. You're by yourself, and you have to have faith that somewhere down the line it will be manifested. And then you'll have moments where, man, this ain't going anywhere. And so you just stop working on it. Or if you're fortunate enough to get a job, then you stop it and then you pick it up. And so you have to constantly find ways of just staying inspired. And so that's the challenge, to do something that's going to take a lot of your time and energy without any guarantee that the public will get to see it. But I know when I'm by myself and I'm working at it, I'm enjoying it, and I close my eyes and say, oh, man, I'm performing. I know people would enjoy this. And it's not like I have a backer giving me a ton of money and everything. Once I get, see, this is the other thing, Steve. The creation of it is easy. The part of marketing and the business part of it, that's really a big challenge. And I know sometimes I stretch the creative portion of it because I know the next step is going to kick my ass. So,
yeah, well, I mean, but that is a fact of life. I'm sure as an entertainer, you certainly know this more than I do, the financial part. We wish we could just kind of snap our fingers and perform our art, but promotion is certainly part of the deal.
Right. It definitely is. And so before I start something, I do meditate and say, okay, you got the first step, take the second and the third and the fourth step, and be ready to go through it before you start this journey. So
now,
take a deep breath, exhale, and then I'm ready to jam.
Yeah. Your first acting role, your first movie role was Who's That Girl, I believe. Isn't that correct? Madonna's Who's That Girl? Is that the first movie?
Is the first film,
okay,
but not the first acting role. The first acting role was for Miami Vice.
Yeah, how did Miami Vice, how did you get picked for that? What a great choice, but how did that come about?
It's just a blessing. The producer, John Nicolella, may he rest in peace, saw me performing with Savannah Band, and in Savannah Band, if people have ever seen me in Savannah Band crew, I'm quite animated.
Are you ever?
Over the top. And that jazzed up John Nicolella that he wanted me for a film called Easy Money, actually. That would have been my first film. And it was a film starring Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, okay, sure.
Right. And I couldn't do it. Because I had committed myself to a Kid Creole tour, and so I didn't have the time to do it. They tried hard to get me for that. They tried to pry me away from Kid Creole and the Coconuts to do that film. But our schedules just couldn't coordinate it, so I was unable to do it. Fast forward, he got a TV series with Michael Mann called Miami Vice, and he approached me again via his casting director, Bonnie Timmerman. And at that time, I was able to do it. So I got to do one role with Miami Vice, and then they brought me back a few times. Now, you had mentioned a recurring role. Actually, I had played different characters. They had a nickname for me called the Ghost because they would kill me off, and then a few months later, bring me back as another character.
That's right. Recurring was not the correct word. I'm sorry, Cody. You're right. Yeah. Now, I love from Who's That Girl? I love your song El Coco Loco, so bad. Can we? Let's listen to that one, and we'll be back right after. Is that good with you, Cody?
That'd be fantastic.
Here's El Coco Loco from Who's That Girl? And of course, COATI Mundi. Joe, take it away.
I'm can spin on my head while making love on a posturepedic bed. Don't mean to brag, don't mean to boast, but my rap is natural like a whole wheat toast. Sometimes there be a time when I'll do time for doing crime, but I know with that fear I be that is doing jail. And the cons will be scared. That in the underwear is rough, being tough, but I'm made of the right stuff. What you talking about for me, baby, baby?
What do you want? You out of your mind.
Mira, tú no me llamas loco a mí.
Mira, they don't call you Coco Loco for nothing.
Oye, pero yo te doy a ti tu cara ahora.
Who are you talking to like that? Who do you think you are?
I got many women I can go to. I don't need you, baby.
Yeah, they go to you, you go to them, they go to hell.
Oh, yo. Well, you know what? I'm bad, bad, bad. Ow. I'm one bad, bad, bad dude. And you know it, baby. I'm bad. Yeah, right. So what? Oh, I'm bad at it. Oh,
El Coco Loco by, of course, our guest, the great COATI Mundi, and everyone go to COATI
Oh,
Mundi.
by the way,
World.
Steve,
Yes.
but I'm sorry to interrupt. By the way, that's
No.
Corey Day on background vocals.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Very few people know that. She's the
No,
one that sings, yeah, go,
Thank you.
Coco Loco. That's her.
Good old that's one of your non-Savannah Band projects, I guess, right? Of course, everyone, Cody was the musical director for Kid Creole and the Savannah Band. Of course, the Savannah Band, Cherchez la Femme, great vocalizing by Corey Day on that.
I have to stop you one more time. Actually,
Yep.
for Savannah Band, Tony Browder Jr. was the leader and the band and musical leader for Savannah Band. I was one of his captains or sergeants or something like that. 'Cause
Okay.
I could actually write out the chords and everything like that. But he was the main guy in there, and Savannah Band was my music college. So.
Okay. Like I said, Cody was not the musical director of Savannah Band.
But of Kid Creole, that is better.
Definitely Kid Creole, yes.
Yes.
Tell us about On the Road, the movie from 2012 that you were in, based on Jack Kerouac's novel.
Right, that sort of came out of nowhere. A good friend of mine who worked on my Que Pasa Nino Popeye record back in the 80s, Michael Frendelli, a very talented engineer and producer, was working with composer Gustavo Santaloya. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but look him up. He won an Oscar for Charles Babel and Brokeback Mountain, that film.
Sure.
And so they had a song in the film, a Phil Gallard song, and they had auditioned quite a few people and weren't happy with anybody. And so Michael just had this revelation. Hey, I know somebody that would be perfect for the song. So he got a hold of me through Facebook and referred me to the composer Gustavo. And at that time, I was familiar with Slim Gillard, but not with the particular song they wanted me to sing. So I sort of, on a Friday night, I learned the song. Gustavo called me on Saturday, and I auditioned for him over the phone on Saturday, and on Monday I was recording it for the film. Now, they weren't going to use me in the film because I really don't look like Slim, but they were having trouble finding somebody for the film also, so they videotaped me while I was recording the song, and the director just felt that captured the spirit of Slim, and they just did the whole Hollywood thing with hair, created a hair piece for me, and makeup and everything like that, and so I also appeared on the film. Because there wasn't a documentary, it was basically, if you capture the spirit of it, then it's truthful.
Yeah, now this is your voice on the soundtrack for Yup Rock
So, yes,
Harisi?
Yup Rock Harisi is me singing the song, and I'm also performing it. And one of the problems that people were having with the song, because Slim Gillard had wrote the song based on an Arabic menu and then incorporated with his own personal vernacular. And I don't speak Arabic, but a few years ago I had done a pilot where I played a rabbi, a Latino rabbi, and I had to sing the Mourner's Kaddish, and I learned to sing that song, and that sort of prepared my muscles in my throat for this particular song, Yaqra Hadisi, with the Arabic, because the Hebrew and the Arabic have a lot of pronunciation words in common. That has that Middle Eastern I don't know what the word to say, but it just felt so easy for me to do the Arabic after having learned the Hebrew Mourner's Kaddish. So that's how I was able to get the part. Thank goodness for this comedy pilot. That's what it was a few years back, where I learned to sing that Hebrew song. And it prepared me for this.
Yeah. Everyone, we've been speaking with the great COATI Mundi, and I have to tell my listeners, when I met COATI, as huge of a star and entertainer as he is, COATI is one of the most down-to-earth, very cool guys you would ever want to speak to. And COATI, it was a pleasure to meet you on Evan's TV show, and even more of a pleasure to speak with you now. It was a guest. It was a great show. I'd like to end playing a couple songs. First of all, you mentioned Kid Creole, that you were big in Europe, but I really get into Kid Creole from MTV with Endicott. And I wanted to end with Endicott and Mino Popeye. Could you tell us a little bit about each of those songs?
Endicott was one of our most popular songs here in America. And actually, I'm responsible for getting Endicott on MTV because at one point I was a guest DJ on MTV due to the Who's That Girl film. They had asked if I would do that. And one of my requests to them was, well, can you play one of our videos? So we finally got Endicott on MTV because of that. And that was one of the few songs that were more popular in America than overseas.
Great video as well.
Fun video. There's no way to explain that video except just to watch it. Brian Gumbo absolutely loved that video, and that's why he put us on the Today Show, just to talk to us about it.
Okay.
And Nino Popeye was actually Kid Creole and the Coconut's first hit record overseas, and that was my solo record, which we did on the side, but it took off so large in England and other countries and in South America, then we decided to make a Kid Creole and the Coconuts presents COATI Mundi in order to bring up the notoriety of Kid Creole and the Coconuts overseas. And actually, that's the first song to break Kid Creole overseas. Eventually, we broke large with the Kid Creole's third album, which was Tropical Gangster or Wise Guys, depending on what side of the ocean you're on. But Nino Popeye basically was, August mentioned me on that song. He says, hey, you got a song to add to the to the fiesta? And I said, I sure do. By that time, I had written so many songs, and I saw this as an opportunity to be a solo artist, that I combined all the best parts of about 4 different songs into one. And that's why it becomes Que Pasa Mi Papa, where it goes from salsa, Caribbean stuff, into hip-hop and rap. And I just used the opportunity to get my songs out there. I didn't know if I would have another chance to put a song out. So I decided, let me make the best of this moment. And that's how that came about. And it's all based on true events. Like many songwriters would take some personal events in their lives and then exaggerate it or create things based on that. And that's what this song is.
Well, everybody, please go to COATIMUNDIWorld.com. Go to COATI Mundi Facebook page. COATI, I cannot thank you enough. You've always been one of my musical heroes, and to have met you in person last month and to speak with you on my show here, it's really a dream come true. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me some time tonight.
Well, you're very kind. I appreciate that. I'm honored that you have interest in having me on your show, and I don't take any of those things lightly. I truly appreciate it, and all these type of things like this that happens when I get messages from the public, whatever, it keeps me inspired to keep going in this bad boy. Because as many artists I know, as many artists out there, they know that this ain't easy out here. So grab inspiration wherever you can.
Thanks for the music and all the fun and continued success, COATI. And we'll keep visiting COATIMUNDIWorld.com and the Facebook page to keep up with you.
That'll be great. And there's a email there where they can contact me if anybody has any questions.
And what is that, COATI, your email?
mundimambo@yahoo.com. And if they don't, they can go on my website and go to the link tab and they can grab it off there.
They'll catch. Okay, okay, Mundi, listen to me. Okay, Mundi.
Don't worry about it, but the link is there. If they Google COATI, COATIMUNDI World, boom.
Everything they need is there. Thanks so much,
and I'll
COATI.
set up some free music downloads also.
Excellent. Thanks so much, COATI. It was a real pleasure. And we'll talk to you again.
I'm around. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.